and I'm doing my post-clinical reflection on prompt question set number 2 for my ethnography project. Question number 1. What, if any, has been your experience working with impoverished learners in this or any other clinical setting? The school I attended for my clinical setting was Bluffview Montessori School in Winona, Minnesota. This was my first experience within a Montessori school, so I was able to learn a variety of new ideas. I observed a mixed-age classroom in which collaboration and peer mentoring was encouraged. Students in 1st through 3rd grade were in this classroom, all learning the same skills. The majority of the students within the classroom I observed appeared to come from families who were able to support themselves. On the other hand, there was one student who was African American. She lived with her mother and grandparents and seemed to come from a family who suffered from poverty. I noticed that she truly valued her education and was always excited to learn new things. I also noticed that she seemed to feel safe within the school environment. As a future educator, I believe it is imperative to know your students. You need to be able to get to know them at a personal level so that you can teach to their strengths and weaknesses. It is also vital to create a safe learning environment so that these students feel safe and comfortable at all times, especially if their home life isn't a safe place. Question number 2. How do the reading/analysis of any of the social class and poverty articles inform your present thinking about these kinds of learners? In the article from Payne, The 10 Dynamics of Poverty, it discusses that schools cannot diminish all the issues in poverty, but they can provide for many students the key tools to begin making the transition out of poverty. I believe poverty can have a great impact on school success, although it would be biased to blame one cause. There are a variety of things schools can do to make a difference in achievement by recognizing and acting on the 10 dynamics of poverty. One example of a dynamic that I believe is important is relationships of mutual respect. I learned that relationships between teachers and students can go a long way. They can either enhance or weaken the learning process. Along with this, it is important for teachers to incorporate differentiated instruction. Teachers need to teach in a variety of methods because each student learns differently. Students in the classroom also need to feel comfortable and understand the lessons completely. In another article from Gorski, Savage Unrealities, it discusses how high poverty schools are more likely to have teachers who are unlicensed in the subjects they teach, limited technology access, inadequate facilities, and insufficient materials. The issue here is that students who come from lower socioeconomic status usually won't be given the opportunity to learn that is equal to students who come from privileged families. I learned that this can create a major issue for these types of students and will force them to fall behind in their learning. As educators, we need to get to know our students and try our best to support these students with the types of resources for them to enhance their learning. Question number 3. How does your individual social class research report give you concrete suggestion for working with these learners in ways that are truly transformative? My individual social class report gives me many suggestions for working with impoverished learners. First, working with impoverished learners isn't always an easy task. I believe as educators, we need to be prepared to support students who suffer from poverty. I also believe teachers need support in developing a better understanding of themselves and their own views in order to better engage with children who bring different experiences, cultures, values, and beliefs of the world into the classroom. I also believe teachers need to listen and respect their students' ideas. I believe teachers should ask their students questions to get to know their students as thinkers, as children, and as people. To conclude, it is imperative for teachers to get to know their students and make them feel comfortable within their classrooms. And that is it.